Okay, D&D group, I'm here to make a quick guide to help us, a player building guide, so you guys know what you're doing, we'll know what you're looking at, and we'll go from here. So when you open up a player token, we have some tabs. This is your background. The thing that I don't like about this is you write this up yourself. It's hard to see, but if you highlight it, you can see it pretty well. And then there is some working on fixing it, or since we don't look at it, I might not. The next tab, when you look about thinking about building your character, is called the stats. These are your main stats. You have adaptness, charisma, cog, knowledge, mean, nimbleness, quickness, smarts, spirit, and strength. So it's kind of a lot, but we'll go over what they do really quick. So the more you have in a stat based on the D&D chart, so right now our Henry here has 26, so he gets +8 to every roll in his adaptness test. So if he wants to try a little lock picking, boom, he failed it. Sleight of hands, he succeeded it. It will tell us at the bottom what happens. So know your modifiers. Since he has right now 8 in charisma, he gets a -1 to the buff, and that really determines your modifiers, determine what you want to do. So I'll go over what they do really quickly. Under adaptness, you have lock picking, pretty self-explanatory. Sleight of hands, you want to steal something. Throwing can become useful in combat. You may want to, if you're the death preacher, you may want to throw a vial of something at someone. Charisma, the skills I chose is bluff. If you want to lie, oh no, I just didn't steal that from you. Oh no, we're not here to steal your gold, stuff like that. Charm, I think, is cool. Charm is to getting an NPC to do what you want them to do. So, oh, will you go buy me that gun, handsome? You know, something along those lines. And the prostitute class can charm to the point where they can even take over certain NPCs. Disguise will let you move through a town and pretty much not worried about getting detected. They'll think you'll fit right in. And performing can become a ton of different things. There's a guitar that can perform and determine some money that you might make. You may want to gather up the people to distract them. So you might, get a joke, stand in front of people. There's a lot of different things you can do with performing. Your cognitive skill. This goes into your perception. Perception is a super powerful ability. Perception will let you roll, and I will tell you information about things. So we just rolled a 20. We were successful. I will tell you that the sheriff has a lot on his mind. He looks hangdog in his expression, and it looks like he's hiding secrets from you, and you can tell that by the feel and the guts, the feeling of you got there. And this also lets you get your combat initiative rolls. So the more you have in here, the faster you will be in combat. Combat a lot of times isn't about how fast you are, it's about how you realize what's going on. Scrutinize is a fun ability. It will let you roll advantage on plans, but you have to succeed on it. So you excuse me, you have a plan of sneaking into the sheriff office and stealing a key. I might let you roll advantage on your sneak skill or your sleight of hand skill if someone scrutinizes your plan to make it better. Searching has always just been searching. I want to look here for treasure. Someone dropped the key. I want to see if I can find it in the streets, stuff like that. And tracking is following someone to hunt them down, knowing where they are. We get into knowledge. The know-it-all ability I think is pretty neat. instead of having a science building, an area knowledge skill, a history skill, a religion skill, I kind of just threw it all into know-it-all. So you're about ready to go into combat on Dead Man's Hill. You might roll a know-it-all to maybe get an idea of what the landscapes in there. You might see someone take a picture, and that's a big thing in the Old West. You might, the science with light reflecting, you might hit your know-it-all to know how it works. I want to blow up that prison wall. You might want to use your know-it-all skill to determine where you want to put the dynamite, or you could do you can do something like, I want to shoot a cannon. Well, I know how cannon works, so know-it-all's kind of got some cool things with it. Medicine, in combat, we have an injury system we'll go over maybe in a combat video if this one goes well, and it lets you heal injuries, and it's pretty powerful. Value is kind of cool. If you're out in the wild, I don't want to overcome your inventory with paintings and books and relics that you might find, headdresses, whatever you find out there. I don't want, I want it to cash in instantly as the GM. I don't want to make 1,000 items worth questionable amounts of money and have you go back and sell them, just kind of like we do in D&D. So if I say you looted that guy and you found $3 and a weird belt, you can maybe roll your value. If you roll high, I would say like, that belt's worth $1, and if you roll fantastic, I might say, I know that belt's for that, and I'll just give you the cash instantly to make it a little automatic. Mean is a fantastic skill set. Animal wrangling is huge. Animal wrangling might come in handy if you're trying to tame a wild horse, if a bull is snorlaxing in the middle of the road, if you want to, some dogs are coming after you and you necessarily don't want to kill them, fantastic ability, pretty self. Intimidate is kind of like it's a road you don't go back down from. So, hey, I want to buy that gun, and you're going to give it to me $8, you piece of shit. Well, you failed it. He's not going to be like, now, sir, I'm not scared of you, so I'll still sell it. He might just be like, get out of my shop before I get the sheriff or go get my killer hangman or something like that. Leadership is cool. This one might dictate what you guys do player wise a little bit. What we'll have here is, if I think you guys are taking too long to make a decision, I think we should do this, I think we should do that, I might just say make a leadership roll. Whoever wins will do what they are. This might put the player on the spot. We'll just kind of have to see how this goes. But the other thing this does is, depending on your leadership skill, whoever has the highest leadership will be able to take control of the way you travel in the game, which could be very powerful. You would have control over the inventory of the horses, the wagon of the horses, and the campsite and the money, stuff like that. Persuasion's a little bit nicer route to try to get someone to do something that you want. It's a little different between charm, intimidate, and persuasion. It's kind of hard to find the balance between all the three things, and I'm working on that. But instead of like, hey, you're going to give me this or I'm going to punch you in the mouth, hey, will you let my brother out of jail? Where charm might be like, hey, you're going to, go open the key for me, like actually making him go doing it, asking him to go do it, and forcing him to go do it. Nimbleness, acrobatics, you want to climb something, jump something. I want to climb this roof to get advantage. That's your acrobatics. Brawling's a cool skill I hope people have fun with. Brawling would be There's a lot of things in the Old West where you don't just kill everyone with your gun all the time. So, you want to prove a point to someone. A shopkeep won't sell you a gun for $8 and somehow that pisses you off. You can brawl with him. We'll say 18, you knocked him out, and he was so knocked out, you just got away with punching someone in the mouth. Horse riding, it will come in handy maybe a little teeny bit in the future, but horse riding will be something like extra movement to your horses if you get being chased or pursued or something like that. But to be honest for you, with the campaign and trying to make it a reasonable amount of time, horse riding doesn't have a whole lot of application. Sneak can be huge. Sneak will let certain types of classes get into certain type of combat situations that they would want to be in. So I might say, hey, I want to, no one's noticed me yet, and I want to sneak around here and be able to hit all these guys with my clubs. Okay, make a sneak test. Oh, you succeeded, you rock. Or, oh, you failed, they shot you, now you have an injury. Gambling's a fun skill. Gambling, whoever rolls the highest will win the ante. You have 4 people gambling, you roll a 4, you lose your ante. You roll the highest. Let's say you rolled an 8, but 8 was the highest. You get the pot. Pretty simple, easy. Ridicule's like scrutinize. Besides, ridicule will maybe let someone roll disadvantage on something. So how this all will come in play in the best time will be kind of determined up to the player or anything. But like, if someone's gonna go break into jail and you don't want him to get out the guy that wants to shoot you, you might ridicule him to roll disadvantage on something. Scrounging is kind of can be fun. You can use it. You don't want to pay for a beer. You don't want to pay for some ammunition. I'll say you told a good joke and you scrounged it up. Streetwise is a super cool ability. It will let you know who you're facing. I'll tell you information as the GM about what you're about ready to go down. So all combat information will be given depending on what you do. So, hey, this guy looks tough. Let me roll streetwise and let me know what I can find out about him. Spirit is an extremely powerful class. There's some small mechanics and uses that I haven't quite figured out how I want, but faith is like a placebo to another player to buff them. So if you wanted to make someone believe that God has blessed their eyes, you can roll the faith dice, boom. Since you rolled horribly, I might say, well, now they think God has hate in their eyes, and I might take away someone's ability. So it's kind of like hit or miss. Could be fun. Rituals, if you want to debuff enemies. So before you think you're going to end up fighting someone in town, you can go up there and use a kind of a ritual ability and say, make them believe like, oh, you will be strike with 1,000 hungers, my son. I think you're hungry right now. And he doesn't believe you because he just ate a steak. But if not, maybe he did, and he would get a hungry hindrance. Foraging lets you save money and weight by being able to forage food for the day. There's some, am I going to do that just for you? Am I going to do it for a party? There's some questions. Strength's pretty straightforward. You want to break open a chest. You want to smash in a door. You want to break down a wall so, you have vision, so you can shoot what you want to shoot. Break. Might is, I want to pull this donkey up the hill. I want to push. I want to lift a boulder, things like that. And restrain is, oh, this guy's going to go punch this other guy. I'm going to, hold him back from doing something stupid. Pretty straightforward. That's not all when it comes to caring to your characters. So you have what kind of weapon you have. It will probably be a lot based on class, but you can buy any weapon you want. And here they will tell you what you do. So the bow, you can use a clean shot at 20 feet. The carbine, 40 feet. Some of this might be balance changed a little bit. I might have some play testing from some experienced D&D players. But clean shot with 20 feet, the Dillinger is not that great, but if you are a death preacher and you don't have a gun on you, you know, I might let you get in more in a... They're not going to worry about someone who's not shooting at them, and then you might be able to pull this out. Where if you have a bow or a gun in your hand, you know, they're just going to start shooting at the biggest threat. So could become in handy. I'll take a second to explain Gatling gun. When you click on it, it is stupidly big. But you grab your drawing tool. You want to Gatling gun this area. We just times it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. That's 9. So that kind of determines how many bullets you will use. And then what you would do is you would pick vertically or diagonally. You guys may have reasons for what you want to do. So you would pick one side. So I want these 3 squares. I will roll 3 D2, and there might be some balancing. Let's say one's hits, 2's don't. So everything from this square, we will start where the blast is and move how we will call it out. But everything in this here got hit, nothing here got hit, nothing here got hit. And the radius I set would be about 14 squares. So like, I mean, you could, if you had the ammunition for it and wanted to spend the money to shoot the thing, you could technically almost destroy a big area of the game. So I think the Gatling gun is pretty cool in that regards. The pistol just tells you the range, and the rifle just tells you the range. And the shotgun would do something like this. You would come here. Let's get this guy out of the way. Delete this. You would pick the cone feature. You're shooting the shotgun, and I gave it 50 feet, or 30 feet. So roughly 30 feet. You will shoot everyone within the 30 feet of that area. Fantastic. So that's kind of roughly how the guns work. The shooting, your clean shot is just a straight roll. Your obstructed is -5 to your roll. Your far is -8, and your melee is based off your melee skill completely, and you have to be right next to them. We'll talk about your combat skills here really quick. Hasten is based off of quickness. If you look here, there is no quickness in these, but quickness is all based off of combat, and it has some powerful abilities. There might be some adjustment, but haste lets you take another action. So your shotgun has 2 shots in it. You shoot at the enemy, you roll a hasten to see if you can shoot again. You failed. So if you succeed, which is pretty hard to do, but boom, success, then I will let you shoot your shotgun again. And then you can't shoot it a 3rd time because the shotgun has 2 shots. And see, if we click on this, it kind of goes away. I'm working on cleaning this up a little bit, but yeah, so you used all your shotgun ammunition. You have to reload it before you can shoot again. That's when speed reload comes in. I'm working with this mechanic how I want it to work out, but if you succeed, I will maybe let you reroll 1 shell. If you fail, you won't reload. And you can't, obviously, a round of combat if you failed this and you have no shotgun bullets, then you might have to spend the next round of your combat reloading your weapon. Overall is like toughness. I like the wording, so instead of toughness, but we have an injury system for combat. If you receive an injury, you get shot, you might be able to overcome that shot. Nope, we failed it, so we get the injury. We failed it again, we get the injury. Boom, we succeeded. You don't have to take that injury because you overawed that shot. Intimidation is based off of your intimidation. Initiative is based off of your cog, which is off your perception, which is a very powerful ability. Your perception to realize what's going on will determine. When we roll this, it goes not into, you don't open the combat and roll initiative like we do in D&D. You actually have to hit this button to calculate all your abilities. Boom, and some of the other stuff that is affected is your movement is affected by your nimbleness. So the higher this, the higher you can move. You can move pretty far because you may want to run out 20 feet, shoot, and run back. Boom, boom, boom. That takes you out. There's a little bit of a rounding issue I'm having. I'm working on maybe fixing that. I might fix it, I might not. It just kind of depends. Your dodge is based off your nimbleness as well, so nimbleness is good. This is determined how the shots work. So you target the character, it automatically goes against their 25. You shot him because this guy is very good at shooting. There might be some balances to that. Injuries is your health bar. So we want to do 2 injuries. This token is not like here, so if I did the 2 injuries on this token, it would update. Okay. 2-1. So it kind of works backwards, so that means you have 1 injury left you can sustain and your health bar goes back. If you have no injuries, you're at full health. There is that. Then you go into your shooting skill, which is based off your adaptness. And then you go into your melee skill, which is based off your strength. Then we go over to your inventory. You have barbed wire that lets you create a wall that people can't go behind. So it's like a firewall in D&D. So if you wanted to lay out your barbed wire before a fight, lay out barbed wire to protect something like that. This one's kind of fun. This is beer. You buy a beer. This has no weight, it has no value. This just lets you activate and deactivate the beer buff. This is kind of a way to do temporary buffs. So right now there's no beer activated. There's his stats. We activate the beer, his charisma went up, his cog went down. When you activate the beer, boom, you drink the beer's out of your inventory, gone. This is your money, coins, and there's some auto pay features I have here. So if you're gambling, you hit, wrong button, you hit the activation, boom, we can see it in the chat, you paid $10 or you paid $5 and now you're minus. It automatically does the math for you, and it does the coins as well, because beers, I want to go buy a beer, you just hit that, you can get a beer. We'll make it super fast and easy. Encumbrance of how much you can take is based off your strength. So right now, you can only carry 25 pounds of weight. When you have your guns and all your stuff, that's not a whole lot, so you want to be strong to carry. So let's see if we go to the strength, and boom, now you're at 20 strength. Let's see. Wow, you can carry 50 pounds. Perfect. Hindrances and edges. So I talked about blessed your eyes. So the hobo or the death preacher or anybody made you believe you were the best shot. So now you have eagle eyes, and now you are way better at shooting than you were without eagle eyes. Hindrances work the same way. Like you get too many injuries. Let's say I'm sick of you trying to earn money through gambling. I'll just maybe give you a bad luck hindrance. Maybe that will stop stop you from gambling. Oh, this is the wrong token because this is this token, but yeah, so there are things, hindrances and edges are up to the DM. If you get injuries, I'll give you hindrances. If you get bad injuries, they might be permanent. You might lose your arm, you get shot in the eye, stuff like that. There's some cool hindrances, like if I like the way you're role playing, or if you get blessed, or let's say you let's open up this token instead of the token here. If we open up here, we go down here, let's see if we go to another hindrance or an edge. Let's say you sleep with a prostitute. Well, I think you're well rested now. So now you get buffs to certain stats, and then as the GM, I might be like, well, your glowing from your sexual experience is gone now. Now they're gone, so that's a reason to spend money, do things like that. Your wanted level, we're working on this, is kind of work in progress, but you can adjust it here, and then lastly, I'll just drop your class. But that video is getting probably pretty long, so hopefully it helps, and if this is works out for everybody, I might make a combat one or something. Peace.